Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us today. We are really excited to dive into the Fun Money program. We have CPT President Alfonso Alexander, who has a great presentation to share with us today. And I will go ahead and kick it over to you, Alfonso.
Good afternoon. I hope everyone is doing well. Thank you for joining us for this flash chat. I hope that you can see my screen. It is transitioning over to full screen so that you'll be able to view it that way. If you can't see it, please feel free to either speak up or just allow us to let us know, and we will switch it over to you. So we'll go ahead and get started. Ashley, did you have anything else?
Yes, if you guys have any questions along the way, feel free to utilize the chat feature, which is in the right-hand sidebar at the very bottom of your GoToMeeting toolbar, and we will be able to answer your questions along the way.
Wonderful, wonderful. So I think everyone should be able to see my screen now, and please let us know if you cannot, and we will make adjustments there for you. I am pulling up the PowerPoint now in a way that is viewable for everyone, and so now that you have it, we'll go ahead and get started. Again, welcome to the call. Thank you, Ashley, for coordinating everything. Thank you guys for participating. And if you have questions at any point, feel free to ask me online or to shoot that question to Ashley via technology, and we'll get the question answered for you. So we'll jump right into our conversation around the Fun Money program. The Fun Money program is something that we came up with about a year ago, or a little over a year ago, and it was set up as an opportunity for us to take our community service activities that we do and position them a little bit differently. As you guys know, in the past, we've asked chapters to do at least one community service project per year, and those projects varied in terms of the number of them and the depth of them. We thought that organizationally we could make a greater impact from a community service standpoint if we said, you know what, let's have everyone participate in the same type activity. It may look a little different from campus to campus, but still being the same type activity. It will give us an opportunity to really make an impact nationally with what we're trying to do. So what we hope to do is to be able to start with the Fun Money program, which is a financial literacy program, and then transition from the Fun Money program in a few years to something else. So Fun Money stands for Financial Understanding Now. And Financial Understanding Now is important because part of what, if you read any type of material on financial literacy, part of what we understand is that young learners from particularly middle school on up get very little exposure to financial literacy. And then what that does is it creates a cycle of poverty as you move forward, because people that don't understand how money works for you or against you can then find themselves in situations as adults who still don't have that knowledge, and they can make decisions that can negatively impact them and their children and their children's children. On the other hand, though, if people have an understanding of money and how finances work, then it will could position us to be successful and create opportunities for successful financial living for us, our children, and our children's children. And so we thought, here's a way for us to make a positive impact as an organization through StudentCPT chapters. So what you see on the screen now, I hope you've had a chance to read it, are program objectives. And those are simple. We want to develop leadership skills for StudentCPT members. So why even do community service projects as a StudentCPT organization? It's because we want to have an opportunity for you guys to develop your skills and make a positive impact on your community at the same time. So first and foremost, we're thinking about you. Even though the things that you will be doing will help others, our objective is to help you, and this is one way we feel like we can do it. The second one is to introduce underprivileged students to personal finance and understanding of it. As I mentioned there are pitfalls for individuals that don't know and understand it, and great opportunities for individuals that do. Part of why we have in rural communities and in inner city communities, why we have lower employable people and lower job rates and other things, is because of a lack of financial understanding and positioning. So this will help expose them. It also exposes young learners to business careers. Again, if you think about StudentCPT chapter members going into middle schools and organizations that support middle school age kids, one of the best things that can happen is they can hear about, whether you're a marketing major or an accounting major or management major, they can hear about this career field that you're planning to go into for the very first time, and it could have a very strong positive effect on a young learner. Teaching servant leadership is the next objective. One of the greatest things that you guys can do as leaders is lead by serving, and given an opportunity to practice with younger students gives you a great chance at understanding and seeing the impact of how you serving people that you lead will make a positive impact on them as well as on you. And then also it'll help us share this great curriculum that PwC put together called Earn Your Future with students across the country. And so those are our objectives. We partnered with PwC as a part of this process. They developed a few years ago what they called the Earn Your Future curriculum. And as you can see on the screen here, they have categories of topics that they cover. And there are 8 topics that they've developed. And you can see what they are here: financial risk and responsibility planning, money management, credit and debit, stock market, home buying, risk and assurance, saving and investing, and income and careers. Those are a full set of topics that they have developed, and they have a full curriculum at each academic level, K through 12, based on those topics. So as you can see here, under each of these topic areas, there are things related to high school, there are things related to middle school, and things related to elementary school. As you know, from a StudentCPT standpoint, we have chosen to work with a middle school group to help try and embark on this journey to share knowledge with them. If your chapter has a relationship through the university at either an elementary school or a high school, then we are open to you working with one of those, but we just want to talk with you about it first and give you some guidance and some advice on how to pursue that. So PwC developed this curriculum. It's very well scripted out, so literally a person could follow the script in detail, and it would help the participants that are in the course. But also there's flexibility, and we want you to feel free being able to use some of the flexibility. Now, what you see on the screen now are, instead of us using all 8 of those subjects that the PwC program includes, we have identified 4 that we feel like are most critical, and 4 that we'd like for you guys to use as a part of your educating the individuals at the schools that you'll be working with. So credit and debit, saving and investing, income and careers, planning, and money management are the 4 that we've identified. Why those? Let's talk about credits and debit. One is the biggest pitfall that most Americans make is not understanding the impact of credit, and not understanding from even a checking account how to manage credit and debit, as well as how to credits and debits, as well as how to either avoid altogether or how to manage credit so that it doesn't negatively impact your ability to purchase. The next one, saving and investing. 2 reasons why we picked that one. One is, if you look at anyone who is financially successful, they have a major savings and investing component of their financial plan, their overall financial plan. And so part of what we're trying to do is get young people to understand the value of saving and having a greater reward later versus spending and being able to do smaller things today and have a negative impact later. Income and careers. We want to make sure that people get an introduction to income and career related topics and a discussion around it so that they can be in position to make decisions that can help them financially. And then planning and money management. This one is one that will help them to start thinking about what they can do to even pay for college education and beyond. Next, just to give you some general information on the program, as I mentioned earlier, our target is middle schoolers. We picked middle schoolers because they are old enough to understand a little bit about how money works, but not knowledgeable enough to where everything would be redundant for them. We want to focus on inner city and rural youth, and the reason for that is there's a lot of statistical data out there that shows that, number one, suburban students have exposure because of the education level primarily of their parents. They have more exposure to financial literacy than students in the inner city and students in rural areas. Second reason why we want to focus on that subset of the population is because most of schools are either in the inner city or in what would be considered a rural area in most cases. So proximity to your schools is going to be important as well. The next is these individuals have limited exposure to career options. Because they've not had people like you or like me or others to come into their schools, then they only see limited careers that maybe they have seen on television but have no idea that that's something that's attainable for them, or maybe what they've seen in their community. And if you go through the inner cities and the rural areas, there's really not many career options that individuals who live in those places get exposed to. So those are three reasons why we're wanting to impact middle schoolers in inner cities and who they are. What we've got, and I'll talk a little bit more about this here in a moment, is we've got two options for how we could do something. We could do it in two sections or two sessions, and they would be 2 hours each, or 4 one-hour sessions that could be done that way. So let me give you an example and show you here. These are pictures from East Central University. And these two individuals on the picture on the right are students as a part of the student chapter. They actually had an opportunity to already go ahead and get started. Some of you may recognize these guys from attending the Student Leadership Conference. Over here are pictures of the students that they worked with, along with them as well. A good selfie there. Now, what was very fortunate for them is they had already been involved in a relationship with a local school there on their campus. So as a part, you may see on the shirt, the ETU Tiger Academy. As a part of the Tiger Academy, they already were engaged with these students. So again, if your school has a relationship with students already, then that's an opportunity that you can take advantage of, because sometimes it can be challenging getting connected into schools. And so Ryan Jolly is the gentleman that you see on the picture, and Ryan wasn't able to join us on the call, but he sent us some notes to share with the group, and I'll read his note to you. It says, we taught a group of 30 fifth and sixth graders. We used this as a test run to become familiar with the material, so we taught the first 2 modules. With that being said, the terminology was a bit advanced, and we really had to break it down into simple terms for the students. So let me pause right there. That just underscores the need for these individuals and this target audience of students to be able to get this material, because they really don't know and have not had exposure to anything related to this, and you'll find that all over the country. Since most of the students really enjoyed the first lesson overall, and they were very excited about their future plans. So that made the program really enjoyable and fun for them to teach. The second lesson was laid out very well, but again, because the material were a little more advanced for the students, it made it difficult to keep the students' attention the entire time. So let me pause again to say we are comfortable with you using some flexibility with the curriculum because we've got to make sure that we meet the needs of the students. And so Ryan also says that they decided not to go strictly on the script because what began to happen is students began to ask questions, and that altered the flow of the script but made the experience so much better. So all that's an example of what someone else has done, and I think overall it was a successful experience for them and can be for you as well. So what kind of materials will you need as a part of the process? Handouts are included in the curriculum, and we'll provide that for you, as well as their exercises in the curriculum. You can create, or we can help you create, little booklets that would be how you can distribute the materials. You'll need markers and pens and pencils if the school doesn't already provide them. And again, we can help you with sourcing those items there. So those would be the materials that would be needed. Secondly, just from a coordination standpoint, let me kind of share a few things with you. You guys are all assigned a CPT staff person. Keep them in the loop and have them work with you as a part of this overall process so that we can help you effectively get established with a school or with a local community agency. Because in some cases, because of some of the security measures that schools have to go to, it may be difficult for you to get established in a school. But if there's a local nonprofit community center or community agency near your university that you work with or can work with, then we can help you get set up with them as well. And we also have some access to some resources from PwC that can help with that process if necessary. And so when we say use existing relationships, again, look to see if your school has existing relationships that we can take advantage of and that can make the logistics process easier. But talk to your CPT staff person and we can help you navigate through that. Once the school has been identified, make sure you visit the school in advance to secure plans and to make sure that you understand all of the logistics, like when classes start, how early you should arrive, what kind of security check-in things that have to be done, and make sure that we're prepared for that. And then also to meet the teacher in advance so everybody's comfortable and they know you and you know them. The next thing in terms of the implementation, I mentioned to you earlier that we're looking at 4 of the 8 components of the program. The options are to go in once a week for an hour for 4 weeks. That could be 4 consecutive weeks, or it could be spread out over an 8-week period. I wouldn't recommend that you go any longer than that. The second option could be if a school, for example, has some programs, like here in Nashville where we are, they have some specific programs that they do outside of school on Saturdays. They're weekend, they call them weekend academy or weekend school or something like that. And those are volunteer things that parents and students can participate. There may be schools in your area that have those kinds of programs, and that may be an easier way to implement the program. You can do that that way. Also, if you choose to work with a nonprofit agency, a local community agency versus a school, it probably will work out better to do the two-hour sessions, whether that's on the weekend or in the evening, may be a possibility as well. Classroom management, just to give you some ideas, we want and believe that you should have team facilitating with 2 student CPT members per class, because there's going to be a lot of exercises and things that you have to share, and working together will make that process much easier. You can have more, but we want to make sure that you have at least 2 as a part of that process. And we'll be able to send materials and things that can help you with some tips on how to manage a classroom of middle schoolers and how to keep things going very well. Expect screening or some administrative hurdles that you may have to go through, like a background check or something like that, to be able to get into the schools. Many of them require it. Most all of them will be requiring it very soon. Being consistent and being responsible is critical in this process, because one of the worst things that could happen for the students is if you come one time and then don't go back, or go a couple times but don't complete the process, because then that gives them something to look forward to, and if you don't show, then it could be disappointing to them. That's it in terms of the information that we wanted to share immediately with you. I'm going to stop right there and open up for additional questions if you have any, and then I know Ashley is prepared to take some questions if you submit some online. So let me stop now and see if you have any questions.
Hey, Alfonso.
Hey, good afternoon. Who am I speaking with?
It's Viral.
Hey, how are you, my friend?
Good, good. How are you? Just quick question. Is there any way we could reach out to PwC and have their professional come join us with the chapters when we go to the middle school, if it's possible?
I can't make any promises on that, Viral. And
Okay.
tell me, what is the reason that you would want to do that? Just to have more comfort level?
No, cause I'm just asking if it's possible, cause that I'm just my board members asked me to ask this question, so I'm just relying based off like on that. If it's possible, they want to know how many people could go, but as you can see, you answered the question already about 2 people per classroom. So yeah, I guess they want to network too with the PwC professionals. That way, they could build relationship too, you know. But
Yeah.
if it's possible, then we can.
Yeah, as part of our partnership with PwC, we told them that we would do everything that we could to prepare you guys, so they would not have to go to the schools, because it just becomes kind of a resource issue.
Okay.
As we're trying to do this all over the country.
Okay.
But why don't you send who is your primary contact? Is it Ryan or Ashley? Ashley.
Ashley.
Why don't you send Ashley a note, and we could have a follow-up conversation. We may be able to get some support from someone on our team, or something if you need it. If they were asking, for that reason.
Okay, gotcha.
Okay. Thank you, Vera.
Thank you.
What other questions or comments do you have out there? All right, no other questions or comments, so let me ask you something. How are things going with you this semester?
We had our kickoff meeting on September 18, and we had 35 interested students to join us, the chapter. So we are off to a great start this semester.
Excellent. And I heard you guys have a speaker coming in that's probably not too good, but you're going to have him anyway on November 29th or something like that. Some guy, named Alfonso is coming.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I look forward to it, Vero. I really do.
And Professor Stubbs is inviting his friend too to talk, so it's gonna be 2 of you. I'm getting more information regarding the other speaker. I just emailed him earlier today. I haven't heard back from him, but yeah, it's gonna be 2 of you speaking.
Okay, wonderful.
All right.
Thank you, Vero.
All right.
Michaela and Nikki, are you guys online still?
We just have a comment from Nikki Nunez. She said, Truman State had our second meeting yesterday and had 11 people attend.
Great. I wanted to say to you guys that I was bragging on you. I met Dean Deborah Kirby yesterday, at a conference where I spoke in Chicago, and she was in the audience, and she came up and said hello to me. So I wanted to let you know that I bragged on you and told her that I enjoyed my visit with you all. Is Austin online from Ohio U? I'm wondering if people didn't tap into the phone deal. Well, Austin, hope all is well with you there. And if you need anything, let us know. And I'll say the same thing to you, Margaret, at SLU as well. And if you guys have any other questions, feel free to shoot them to Ashley or me, and we'll be happy to answer them. And note that the next one of these flash chats is November 7th at 11 a.m. and the focus will be social media and chapter resources. So we look forward to working with you guys. Again, if there's anything we can do, feel free to reach out and let us know.
Thanks, guys. We'll talk to you soon.
Have a good day.
You too.
Thank you.
Yep.
Thank you.
And way to go, SLU. We just saw your comment.
Thank you.